We are going to look at the different transformations. To describe transformations, we're going to use the words steeper or less steep. So that's one. We could also use the word reflection. And then our third kind of transformation is translation. Some kind of translate up or down. So those are the different kinds of ways that you can describe a transformation. So whenever we look at steeper or less steep, we look at your the slope. So on f of x equals x, our slope is just 1. On g of x equals 2x minus 3, our slope is 2. So going from a slope of 1 over 1 compared to 2 over 1, how do they compare to each other? Is it going to be steeper or less steep? Steeper. So we're going to write steeper. By what kind of factor? What would you multiply this by to get that? Yeah. Yeah, 2.
Can we just put steeper by 2 instead of factor?
Yeah, you can.
I put slope is changed by a factor of 2.
Yes, and then out to the side, just put steeper. Okay, the other one is if it has a reflection, the sign would be switched on your slope. Is the sign switched? Nope. The only thing that is different here is our y-intercept. So here we have a y-intercept of 0, and here we have a y-intercept of -3. So the original is at 0, and then the other one is at -3. So how did it translate? Down, yeah. Translate down. How many units? 3. Yeah. Since I said down, that kind of serves as the negative. Okay, the next one, f of x equals x. What's our slope here? What's our slope on g of x? Yep. How does that affect your graph?
Reflection.
Just a reflection, yep. Okay, and then this one, the y-intercept is at 0. The y-intercept on this one's +2.
So translate up 3 units.
Yep.
2 units.
Yep, because it's starting at 0 versus this one starting at 2. So translate up 2 units. Okay, so C is a little different because it's not just the parent function. F of x equals x, that's your parent function, which is the most basic function. But now we're comparing 2 functions that are not basic. They each have a slope, they each have a y-intercept. So we have to compare them. So on f of x, our slope is 2. And on g of x, our slope is 5. So how do they compare?
Steeper by 3 units.
Steeper by a factor, but the factor means 2 is going to be multiplied by something, by the factor to get 5.
2.5.
Yep. 2.5 would be our factor. Because whenever you do your slope, you're multiplying by a number. So this will be steeper by a factor of 2.5. So this was our f of x, and this was our g of x. And then what about our y-intercepts?
Down 5 units.
Yep. So translate means you're moving it up or down. So starting at 2 versus the g of x starting at -3. So I kind of made a little graph to kind of illustrate that. So it's starting at 2 versus starting at -3. So you count down through 5 units, right?
Yes.
So translate down 5 units. And that came from going from 2 to -3.
So you're just counting how many places you
Yep. Counting your y-intercept. How far apart are your two y-intercepts? Exactly. All right. The next one, f of x here is, our slope is 1 versus our slope of -1/2. So there's actually two kinds of transformations.
It goes less steep by half.
Yep. Less steep by half by a factor of 1/2. And what else?
Translated up 6 units.
Reflection.
And a reflection. Let's look at that first. So we're only looking at our slope first, and then we'll look at the y-intercept. And reflected or reflection.
Okay, so it's always a reflection if the sign changes?
Yeah. So you look at your slope and see, is the sign different? If it is, then it's a reflection. If they're the exact same, it's not a reflection. No matter if they're both negative or not. They have to have different signs for it to be a reflection. And then going from a y-intercept of -4 to a y-intercept of +2. 6, yeah. Are we going up or down though? Yeah, because we're at -4 y-intercept and going up to a +2. So translate up 6 units. And if you need to, you can draw a little mini graph and see what -4, where -4 is versus +2. And it's going up. Okay, so we are not turning this in. You can use this on your review as you work through your review. The test is Wednesday, and your journal is due on Wednesday as well. Y'all are going to work on your review today.